Scott, and it's delightful to be back with you. Too many years in between each of these visits. I've been playing this song for a great many years. It's been attributed to me, but I didn't write it. A great Brazilian composer, Ivan Lins, wrote this melody, and he let us take the melody and put new English words to it when I first joined the Paul Winter Consort. And I got to sing it so you can help in two languages like this. In a circle of friends, this means friends when you hook your fingers together. In a circle, this means circle of sound. Try that much. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. Voices are calling round the earth, music is rising in the sea, the spirit of morning fills the air, guiding my journey home. Where is the path beyond the forest? Where is the song I always knew? I remember it just around the bend. In the village, the music never ends. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. Voices are calling round the earth, music is rising in the sea, the spirit of morning fills the air, guiding my journey home. Here is the path beyond the forest, here is the song I always knew. I remember it just around the bend. In the music, the village never ends. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. Let's do that again. Let's do it as a round. In a circle, in a circle, in a circle, a circle, all our voices, when we touch common ground, common ground. Oh, I know we all have to roll our eyes and whisper to each other after someone asks us to sing around together.
That is a way to start, isn't it? Good morning. Welcome to our multi-platform space here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Miami, or as we affectionately call it, UU Miami. As a member of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, we bring a liberal religious voice to the great city of Miami. I'm Reverend Tom Capo, the minister here. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I am a white male with a newly trimmed beard this morning. And my stole is orange and red and white, and I have flowers. I have flowers on my tie this morning. And I guess you met Jim. If you haven't, and this is the first time, it's going to be special. It's special every time, but I mean, it's just amazing. Jim is a composer, a guitarist, singer. His songs are in the hymn book that we have, including Gather the Spirit, which I assume we will be singing today. I think so, actually. We practiced it, so we'll be singing today. He's toured for decades, playing at over 700 Unitarian Universalist churches. As co-chair of the UU Ministry of the Earth, Jim helped create the Green Sanctuary program and received a grant from the Fund of the Unitarian Universalism to assemble the Earth and Spirit Songbook, a great contribution to our worship and RE resources. Formerly a member of the Paul Winter Consort and a co-composer of the Missa Gaia Earth Mass, Jim has gone on to record a number of CDs, which you will actually have an opportunity to purchase after we're done. He won the UU Silman Anthem Contest for his piece, I Am Waiting. And we can thank him by visiting his table, which will be back there where you're getting lunch a little bit later today. CDs, books, he's got a new book, he just showed me.
I was looking for it right now.
So you have to have at least one, because I'm going to get it.
Is it back there?
It's back. Oh, they're in a bag. They're in a bag in the kitchen.
Could you just talk a little longer?
UU Miami wants to acknowledge that we gather on the lands of the Miccosukee, Tequesta, and Seminole people, and that we honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who stewarded this land for generations. May we continue to be great stewards, or good stewards, better stewards, hopefully, of this land that we now inhabit. UU Miami is a community of brave, curious, and compassionate thinkers and doers. We invite you to learn more about us. You can go to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, our webpage, or you can talk to some people like me about this church and becoming a member and becoming a friend and donating and being part of the community. There's so many wonderful things you can do to be part of this community. And if you feel like membership is something that you're called to, that you want to be part of this because it's important to you or it's touched you in some important way, please get with me or email me at minister@uumiami.org. Well, I can keep talking, but I think I'm just about done. Here he comes. Okay. He's gonna take it almost from here. I'm not gonna talk too much today, so there we go. That's the new book.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, everybody. I live in Worcester, Massachusetts. A church in New England, you wouldn't get away with that, probably. And I was just looking in I have a notebook, a zippered notebook. You know, some people have iPads. I do too, but the zippered notebook is good because you can just put all your papers in there. And then you can put it on top of your car and you can drive away and come back and get it. You know, it's still, that's been an organizational thing. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to be prepared for a reading from the book of Jim here. Just a moment. I'm always delighted to get to sing this song with you. It's my entree. Oh, we're gonna light a chalice first, aren't we? I'm sorry, I'm new here. We light a chalice at the commencement of our spiritual gatherings. Wherever you find you use, even at business meetings sometimes we light a chalice. At camps and conference centers and wherever you use gather, this chalice and flame is symbolic of a great many things. I can promise you on another Sunday it'll have an entirely different connotation. But for me today, it means that the earth is a vessel, sailing on with a fire in its heart. The inside of the earth, someone told me, I believe it was on NPR, is virtually as hot as the sun. Now, if it's that hot on the inside, where are the flames on the outside? We must be them. We are that energy force of earth, burning, oxidizing, green and blue and white when you see us from out in space, down here on the ground, fashioning from the earth a whole spectrum of color, providing this mysterious and mystical balance of peace and health and justice that we might call spirit. I like this word spirit, as you'll see. And Joseph's going to give us some reinforcements on this. Let's play Gather. It's number 347, but I'll bet we're projecting the lyrics for you. Is that right? It's number 347 in the gray book, if you want to look it up. They made me older than I am in there, but most of the notes are right. I like to start halfway through, just to throw off whoever's projecting, and sing you the refrain, sort of. And that'll just be me and the people who weren't paying attention. And then we'll all start at the beginning. May we stand for this as willing and able. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy. Now and then, I was kidding, you can sing too. Gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Start at the beginning. Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame. We are gathered again in that dangerous bastion, the church that threatens family values, the church that wants to undermine the authority of the Father, the church that has half forgotten the Creator in its pagan worshiping of the creation, the church that those right-wing radio ministries have warned us about, this church of bleeding heart liberalism, this thinly veiled front for leftist politics, of homosexual propaganda. I like it here. The church that tells you you won't be going to hell no matter what you do in this life. And the church that often leaves the first few pews open for the diversity we're sure is going to show up. We're open to it. The church of practicing witches, whose very assertion they don't believe in any devil, confirms they must be accomplishing some of his work. And the church that sings carefully, not sure if there are any words we can totally subscribe to, and not be questioning ourselves tomorrow or in the next worship committee meeting. The church that is not sure there is, in fact, anything that we can celebrate with that passion and abandon those other churches hold for Jesus, the Savior, Son of God the Father. Although something lurks in us, we might be missing out on some of their fun. It is that search for ecstasy, enlightenment, and other things, including free coffee, which is often the only thing whose origins we don't question, that brings us together. This is my church, and I'm a zealot. This is the church that says to everyone, you're not only welcome, but we need you and your creative input in our continuing, dynamic, and evolving culture. Diversity is a strength, a survival mechanism we believe in. We face the challenge of weighing new and ancient wisdom in our search for guidance in this life, as well as the continuing creation of our own mythology. It's not an easy job. And we come together in meetings like this to offer each other ourselves for sustenance. Whether or not I see anyone under 21 in front of me, which I do, I like to put a kid's song in a program, because kid songs are sneaky. You can sing about all kinds of values in a kid's song and not scare anybody, you know. You can sing about sharing and no one calls you a communist and like that, you know. Now, I'm not sure how we do things. Would kids like to come up here? Hey, hello, everyone. Thanks for coming up and keeping me company. If you can make yourself comfortable, I have to sit here, so, you know, if you can sit up here with me, that'd be wonderful. Is anybody in second grade? Yay! They're pretty smart in second grade, I found out. I wrote this song with a bunch of second graders. And they told me all about the rainforest. Now, you can bring your big people up here, too, if you want. And you don't have to just sit and look out at those people. You could turn around, you know, we can talk. Have you learned about the rainforest in school? Anybody? That's something I didn't learn when I was in school. I had to be older before I learned about that and moved to Oregon, where there is a lot of rainforest. But this was the tropical rainforest these kids had been studying. So some of the animals are more exotic. There's a lot of animals in the song. And they told me about the 4 levels of the rainforest. That was news to me, the 4 levels. I'd never heard that before. But I thought it should go in the song. They go by fast, and then we see how they all go together. On the ground level, turtles and leopards and snakes live in the shelter the understory makes. The ground is so soft and the air is so clear, with 300 inches of rain every year. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. Does that sound like a participatory refrain to you? With 4 notes, oh, let the rain, you can sing it. Feed the thirsty ground, sing me the song of life. Sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. And down in the ground, the worms and the ants nurture the roots of the flowering plants. And up in the canopy, life is a breeze. Orangutans swing from the limbs of the trees. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. Now while some of us sing that part, we need some others of us to sing another part that goes, rain come down, rain come down, that's it. Rain come down, rain come down. Oh, let the rain come down, feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. And the third verse is high up above, where the toucans fly. Emergent treetops reach into the sky. There's more kinds of plants than anyone knows. Look out! There's a sloth hanging by her 3 toes. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. Oh, let the rain go. Now about this point, rain go, I'd like to put in the pop quiz. So you kids, can you help me? I'm more interesting than them. You turn around and be with me here. Did you pick up what are any of those 4 levels of the rainforest? You know one? No. Well, there's the ground level. That's a good level. And then there's all the stuff that likes to grow in the shade of the canopy is called the understory. So bushes and a lot of animals live in the understory, and then some animals live in the canopy. And then there's the tallest, biggest old trees that stick up sometimes way above the canopy. It's called the emergent level. That's what I learned in 2nd grade. So that's the 4 levels. And this is the way I remember it. There's the understory, the understory. If you got a low voice, be the understory. Goes up and down. Understory. And the ground level, the ground level. You can be the ground level, or the understory, or the ground level. Canopy, ground level, canopy. Find your level. Canopy, the under, the canopy, the emergent, la, 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 emergent. Oh, there's the ground level and the under, the canopy, emergent, la, 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 emergent. Oh, there's the ground level or the under, the chorus. Oh, let the rain come down, feed the thirsty ground. life you sing such a beautiful sound. Oh, let the rain come down, rain come down, rain come down, rain come down. Well, what that shows me is there's all this stuff all around us, down in the earth, down in the ground, down in the water, up in the air. There's all these things working together that keep us going. One word for that might be harmony. I like that because I'm a musician. The harmony of nature, you've heard that. But another word for it just might be peace, I think. I know some animals eat other animals, but this whole thing has been going along in a balance of nature for a long time, in a relative peace, and we have to make sure that keeps going. So ordinarily, kids would go off and do something more interesting now, but I think we're inviting kids to stay. You can go back and find your big people if you want, and thanks for being up here with us. And I think if kids are really antsy, we have a plan for that, but we're glad you're going to stay with us today, and we'll try to make it interesting. Speak of the offertory.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I get to come up again. You don't get to see me a lot today, but I'm going to do something else here. Okay. For those of you watching online, I invite you to take out your smartphones, and you'll see a QR code in a moment that'll pop up on the screen. And actually, anybody here who wants to use the QR code can also use it. If not, you can go to the UU Miami donation page and donate there. Those of you in the sanctuary, somebody will pass a basket around in just a moment. Today, you'll have the opportunity to not only donate to this congregation, but also to Survivors Pathway. Survivors Pathway is a justice and healing center for survivors of abuse. They believe that through advocacy and trauma-informed counseling, we can all realize a better Miami-Dade County. Their approach is rooted in listening to victims of crimes from the LGBTQ and Latina communities, as well as people from all backgrounds. Survivors Pathway also empowers their clients and fights alongside them. This congregation is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and hope. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place and the work we do in the world, for we are now the keepers of the dream.
Peace is a rolling sea, so full of mystery. I feel its harmony in ebb and crest. Peace is a work of art that moves the open heart. Peace is a place to start and final rest. Harmony of harmony, I hear you sing to me. Let it wash over me, let it begin. Harmony of harmony, unfolding melody. I am your instrument. Let peace begin with me. Peace is a beacon bright that brings us inner sight, a radiating conquering fear. Peace is the wild bird's call, the painted leaves in fall. Peace is the health of all, I feel it here. Harmony of harmony, I hear you sing to me. Let it wash over me, let it begin. Harmony of harmony, unfolding melody, I am your instrument. Let peace begin with me. I'm torn. I said to Tom, he said kids were going to stay, and I said, well, I could do something a little more kid-friendly. So I think I will. I had this serious thing I was going to read to you, but I also have a funny one. So can we take a poll? With the funny one, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So if I need to ask them. Or I'll have to make an executive decision. Okay, so if we make an arbitrary decision to change the order of service, you don't have to go like this. I know how we are. This is called relativity. I had this in a program at the Providence, Rhode Island UU Church, which is right by Brown University, and I didn't do it in the service. But it said relativity, a reading by Jim, was going to be in there. And at coffee hour, a man came up and he said he's if he's tenured professor, if not head of the whole department. And he said, I have one piece of advice for you. Oh, really? Thank you. He said, stay away from physics. Apparently only the anointed speak of physics. I didn't know that. So I hope you find this entertaining. It's called relativity. Driving a bit too fast, I maneuver the curves on this cement ribbon deep at the feet of solemn giants, in the company of huge Douglas fir bodies carted on tractor-trailer hearses. The procession draws little obvious response from their stoic relatives lining I-5 for the occasion. The speed limit has dropped to a mere mile a minute, but I'm attempting to follow an aggressive sporty type and struggling to keep up in my larger minivan body. We are in more traffic and more. I'm now distracted by the necessity to respond to the whims of so many other humans and their heavy armor. The lines are drawn, but survival of the fittest is more the rule. Some vague force ahead is holding up our progress. I'm reminded of the Hindu story of following God up the hill. In single file, travelers can only see the back of the one immediately ahead. Only when the path curves do they get a glimpse of the divinity right in front of them. They can't see God for the human in the way. Now I can see what has bunched us up. A state police cruiser going exactly 60. And ahead, no one. For the moment, my interference runner's "Oh, evolve" bumper sticker is nowhere to be found, but then turns up between the Safeway truck and the pickup that shouts, "Owned and driven by an American, protected by Smith & Wesson." All we steel beasts wear our affiliations on our hindquarters and manage more congeniality than our bumpers might suggest. Not that much more impersonal in those big rooms where we all wear name tags and make no eye contact. "The goddess is alive" rolls right beside "Don't blame me, I voted for Romney." More likely to be inflammatory locally, "Save a logger, shoot a spotted owl" shares the road, ignoring Earth First. But just then, "Live by your hopes, not your fears" goes boiling up through the brew, only to redefine his specific gravity right under the cruiser's surface tension. Eventually, we travel at exactly the same speed, appearing to each other to be sitting together at a theater, at a boring show. Now, this is the phenomenon Einstein, or was it Heisenberg, warned us about. Since we are always moving, we're incapable of fully appreciating our relativity to each other, much less our greater direction. Here, rolling down a ribbon, on a shifting continent, on a spinning planet, tearing through space, in an expanding universe that may be, in fact, somewhere folding in on itself. We should savor this moment. But suddenly, with lights flashing, the cruiser roars away, within seconds leaving us in shock to refocus on the ancient pro-choice and I vote Volvo, now expelling a good deal of steam and smoke from under the hood. No one stops to commiserate as the Volvo retires to the breakdown lane. Communion over. We're back to our own personal trajectories. But might we have influenced each other? Unburdened by compassion for our fleeting community, most of us are free again to dream of destination, though the truth is, this may be all that life really has to offer: the journey. Sip of this tea. I am waiting in the silence. I am waiting for the dawn. I am often found in reverence, though from many sources drawn. It is not mine to fight for justice, for it will not be won this day. I am peace, and I am waiting for the lost to find their way. You'll not find me set in judgment of the vain or of the weak, but I rise to meet the weary with the solace that they seek. Still I have not fed the hungry, nor strewn wealth among the poor. I am peace, and bring but mystery and the patience to endure. I cannot save the suffering from their anger and their pain. Only open doors of insight, so the healing comes again. To the proud I am elusive, to the humble I am near. May the broken rise and look beyond the trappings of their fears. the seasons, autumn's death and spring's rebirth, as relentless their momentum as the turning of the earth. All are welcomed in my presence, for only love can conquer hate. I am peace, and for the harvest I have planted and will wait. I got an NEA grant through the Worcester, Massachusetts Arts Council. Share with you the good news that to put on a thing I've dreamed about doing for a long time. All my most impactful environmental songs, and I've been an environmental extremist for a long time. As Tom read my bio before, oh, I should say Reverend Tom, shouldn't I? I'll be polite. I made a book almost 20 years ago called the Earth and Spirit Songbook. It's a collection of 110 songs of earth and peace, too. I thought that would be good, by all these different composers. I've written a bunch, but I met so many other songwriters who'd written great songs, and I thought somebody needs to collect those things. So actually, I'm working on a sequel now as well. But I got a grant to put on this program that I'm calling The Year to Save the Earth. And it's going to be my songs. And we were thinking of doing it today. I don't have it all done yet. I was going to do a preview of it today. But it's a multimedia show with PowerPoint projected images of illustrating the songs and telling the stories that I tell. So I got a grant to put it on. It has to be free to the public in Worcester, Massachusetts. And after that, I hope to take it on the road and show it to everybody. But this is what I talk about and sing about so much of the time. I do write about everything. You know, I try to be an observer of the human condition and write things that are either funny or serious about things. But the earth has been a real focus for me. So there is no doubt life. We think mathematically pretty assured that there's life somewhere else other than this little planet. But all we know about life is here on our little planet. And we know a lot more about life and its mysteries lately, which gives me hope, taking apart the DNA chain and so on. But we need more than hope. We need a vision, and we need a plan, and we need a will. We have a lot of very ignorant people running things in this country. And I won't mention any names because I don't want us to lose our nonprofit status, but we have to do something about this. This is serious business, that there are people who don't know what they're doing at all and only want to enrich themselves, who are running things. With the Winter Consort, the Paul Winter Consort, Paul Winter's a sax player, by the way, and jazz guy who then kind of made a jazz meets classical group with cello and oboe and acoustic guitar, classical guitar. And we evolved into writing a big piece of music called the Missa Gaia Earth Mass that is loosely a mass, and we did it at the Cathedral of St. John in New York, which is an Episcopal church, so they do masses. I'd never been to a mass in my life. I learned about it in music history class, you know, because it's a big form of music, like a concerto or a symphony or something. There's thousands of masses that people have written over the years. So Paul had been reading a book called The Gaia Hypothesis. James Lovelock, a scientist, and Lynn Margulis, another scientist, they coined this term using Gaia, the Greek goddess Gaia, to personify for us that the earth is one living thing. The earth is one living organism. Now, when this came out, which is 40 years ago, it started a lot of arguments among scientists, semantics, well, we don't want to anthropomorphize, turn the earth into a cute little thing or something, with a brain in the Arctic or something and a spleen somewhere, we won't say where. But we're all a part of this one body of life, is the idea. We're all part of this one interconnected thing. And it was around that time that the Unitarian Universalists brought about, in our democratic process, brought about our seventh principle, the interdependent web of all life, another way of saying the same thing. And I like that. I'm attached to that. I was a part of the group called the Seventh Principle Project. It was several people around a table at a General Assembly first, which turned into the UU Ministry for the Earth now and brought about the Green Sanctuary program that many churches are subscribed to. So that's been my work. That's what I do. Talk and sing about this. We're a very small planet. We're really discovering how finite the resources are here on this little planet. We're not very big compared to the universe. And everything we know is here on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam, said Carl Sagan. Rebecca Solnit, a writer I love, wrote in Harper's Magazine about 1946, right after World War II. Now, more than 60 million people had died in the war. Cities, human cities of the world were in ruins. But still, up until that point, many wild areas, shall we say, jungles and rainforests, had remained relatively unscathed. People had been warning us for at least a century that the wilderness is fast disappearing, and it has certainly been happening since the Sahara forest, if you want to go back that far. This really hit me, though. What she's saying, what corresponds to my lifetime after World War II, is a war on the earth unprecedented by anything in human history. There are 3 times as many people as when I was born, and 1/4 of the insects. This is not a sustainable plan. We can't pave over so much of the earth. I read an article yesterday. I love NPR, and I also highly recommend Harper's Magazine and The Atlantic. I read those things. And there's a wonderful article about how solar power, the people who want to centralize solar power, we thought that was coming to save us, but folks with money are taking over huge wild areas and planting solar arrays that are messing up the ecology. And then, of course, you're going to have transmission wires everywhere. And this is good for jobs, of course. And so it's difficult trying to figure out what's going to save us. The 2,000-year-old stories, we don't have a book up here with all the answers like so many churches do, but those 2,000-year-old stories are good. But there's a new mythology we need to heal us. So the stories and lessons might well need to be different. We're a water planet. 2/3 of the earth is covered by water, salt water. And then the continents are 1/3. The groundwater that we find potable water is only 1/3 of the fresh water that there is. The rest is in glaciers, and that is melting. So our limited supply of water is challenged everywhere. You'd think we would value keeping it clean. You'd think we would value having a sustainable earth. We'd think we'd value the earth enough to invest in it. The current pandemic, I think, taught us a great lesson about worldwide response to an emergency. We're spending a lot on that. What will it take to invest in our survival as a species? The people running things right now don't seem to understand that. We need to tell them, and we need to elect the people who do understand that. I mean the intelligent people. Beyond the disappearing forests, the soil in crisis, the water in crisis, the air in crisis, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which garbage being a rather misleading term, of plastic floating in the ocean, originally described as bigger than Texas. Oh, but now it's bigger than India. Oh, but wait, there's another one almost as big as Texas. Plastic decays into microscopic plastic, tiny shreds. They're more like a cloud than they are, they're more like a cloud. And they're in the entire ocean. They are in fresh water. We also have PCBs and PFAS and other kinds of things in our fresh water. I heard on the radio, maybe you heard it on NPR the other day, someone said, if you eat freshwater fish, it's like drinking contaminated water. What is happening to us? We can't go on living like this. My opening joke sometimes in churches is, we can't go on meeting like this. It's a joke, but it's not. There's an environmental group in the UK that I met, and they're very happy people, but their lead line is, it's too late. It's too late. Not for, we're still here, apparently, because we're so privileged, we are still here. But it's too late for a lot of stuff, the stuff we used to have, the stuff we had when we were kids, the stuff we had last year is not here. So how much, the question is, and they make it kind of a joke, as I like to do too, it's not exactly, how much longer than too late are we gonna wait before we do something? So here's the moral of the story. This is hard for me because I know what's good for me, don't you? I mean, we know what's good for us. I know what will make me live longer, happier, healthier, but I don't necessarily do it. Why is that? I must be an addict. I must be wounded, alienated from the very interconnectedness that would heal me, filling that emptiness, that pain with any kind of diversion and immediate gratification while the spirit of life on earth is dying. So here's what keeps me going. And this is not too much longer, and we'll get back to music. What gets me up every day is the earth modeled what is us a long time ago. Mother Earth was like us, with all the stuff we have. Where did we get this? The breathing system, the circulatory system. But what model? But from our mother, the earth. The breathing system, the lungs of the earth, the green things, the flowers and the trees, they breathe out and we breathe in this enclosed system, the digestion of the earth, the soil. I know, entropy, everything breaks up everywhere, but we say it goes back to the earth, figuratively, perhaps, and things come back again. The heart of the earth, the jungles and the rainforests are physically the pump that sucks the water out of the earth and with evaporation rises and cools, and only to go somewhere and fall, hopefully where it's needed, as rain or snow. And if there's a brain of the earth, maybe we're it. We've been able to learn, develop language, save wisdom in books, in computer software. Maybe there's hope for us. And the conscience of the earth, we better be that too. The healing will require a spiritual backbone of some sort. Things cannot just be measured in money. We can't monetize and exploit everything on this earth. A guy came up to me, I'm going to tell you, it was at White Plains Unitarian Church. And he came up and said, well, I'm one of those wicked investors that, like Mike, I put my kids through college and they're working for the environment, blah, blah, blah. And like, what did I say? I said that money wasn't the answer to everything. Apparently he thinks it is. I'm going to admit that I said this. I will never do it again. But his wife came over and started pulling him away, and I said, well, how much do you want for your wife? So I try to be careful about things like that. I do. I never got it about the bearded old man in the sky, but I do get it about this very round woman in the sky. And I'm comfortable with her having a feminine aspect because we are made in her image. A little less spherical perhaps, but she's our mother. Is she a deity, a goddess? I think that's beautiful imagery, but I don't exactly, I'm more of a realist. She's our ancestor. By the time we took our jangled masses of protoplasm and left the ocean and began to think we were separate, we had this model from her, from our mother. We're made of her, and we're constantly changing places with her. I'll be completely remade in about 5 years. Everything from, in a few weeks, my eyes will be entirely different water. My skin in a few months, all the way down to my bones in a few years. So everything I do to make my life better and build and maintain this living Gaia, what shall we call her, Mother Earth, nature, Mother Nature, because we're all one. Everything I do for myself, or else I'm in the way. And that's our work and our children's children's work, to heal the earth and each other. And I have a song about all that. Far beyond the grasp of hands, I trip over things and knock them over everything. We'll try that again. Far beyond the grasp of hands, or light to meet the eye, past the reaches of the mind, there find the key to nature's harmony, in an architecture so entwined. Like the birds whose patterns grace the sky and carry all who join in love, expanding the message of peace will rise in flight, taking the weight of the world upon its wings, in the oneness of everything. Peace is in the dance of trees who stir before the first breath of wind is yet perceived. Trust in the song, becoming one with the dance, and all mysteries can be believed. Like the sorrow of the clouds, whose tears fall carrying on the earth, forever giving. And now to maintain the harmony all so overwhelmingly designed. Oh, passing years, just might I know the faith that winters in the heart, to be reborn in spring, to hear and to feel the pulse of life enters my soul as a song to sing of the oneness of everything.
I have. You want to close us out with some music?
My wish for you, as now we part, is for greater peace to fill your heart with dreams as vast as starry space. So hurt and anger know no place. May truth be shared and wounds be healed, and joy for living be revealed. Through every fate and circumstance, may hope lead weary steps to dance, and may your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light, then softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. Well, this song has a chorus that is a real sing-along. I like to teach it to people, and then we can do it as a round. And I think I'm just going to promise that I'm going to come back and do it some other time, if that's okay. And may your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light, then softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night, ever dancing circles in the night. Dancing circles in the night. When Wisdom was a striking young man, he met a beautiful woman named Love. Now, I'm not really sure who was the man and who was the woman. Maybe they were the same sex. I'd like to keep you, said Wisdom. You can't own me, said Love, but I love you anyway. What would it cost to know you'd always be there? Asked Wisdom. Don't ask such questions, said Love. Just look at the stars. Why? Wisdom pondered. Are they telling us something? Oh, chill out, chided Love, which made Wisdom happy in a funny sort of way. And so it was that Wisdom fell in love with Love, and thus became truly wise. Let's go in peace.